Job's done.
Hey guys, Mark from Jamitek here, and today we're going to be having a look at the Kobolds and Catacombs expansion. It's out tomorrow, and I feel like this expansion is going to be a tricky one, because a lot of decks are being improved, but there are already better decks out there. So let me explain. Like, Druid is very kind of like minion focused and ramping and stuff, but Druid already has good ramping tools. And Astral Tiger, like, why would you run this instead of Jade, sort of thing. So this video is going to be about what to spend your dust on if you want to craft the best cards. So if you're a new player, this is really great, and if you've been playing for a while like I am, I didn't buy the Frozen Throne expansion. That was like the first one that I didn't really buy. I didn't pre-purchase the exclusive card back, and I didn't get the 50 cards. And neither with this one either. I didn't do it with this one. And I don't know, they just haven't really grabbed me, and I'm just, I don't know. Well, this one, it's Christmas, so all my money's kind of going on gifts for people. It's kind of going to be like a budget sort of. You know, I don't really have the dust, and I do have the dust, and I can only craft like a few good cards. I'm not just gonna drop 100 quid on packs, sort of thing. So we'll start off with the classes in order. We're doing Druid first. So in Druid, it's kind of a weird one because none really stand out to me as like insane. Astral Tiger, I think, is good. I think it has potential. But again, why would you run this sort of Druid than Jade Druid or Token Druid? Twig of the World Tree. I can see some pretty awesome combos with this, to be honest. But if your opponent has weapon removal, it's essentially a dead card. So yeah, and even this as well, even the legendary Ixlid Fungal Lord. It's just too slow, in my opinion. I reckon you could get some pretty crazy combos with it and stuff like that, but I don't know. I don't see it yet. I think the rotation's gonna have to happen for Druid to really make use of these cards, because if not, you're just gonna run Jade or Token. Moving on to Hunter, and Cave Hydra sticks out to me as a really good sort of card. But I don't know if it. I think it might still be too slow. Hunter right now is just sort of like a mid-range aggro type thing, and Hunter always have had trouble with board control. And this seems like it'd be the perfect card. Like if you handmaster this, pretty good, and it's a common as well. So we're not talking that much dust. I know To My Side has had this, it's kind of like a meme now. But I don't know, because the legendary weapon for Hunter is if your deck has no minions, fill your hand with Hunter spells. Now obviously this is a crazy drawback, and obviously this is just a deck archetype on its own, but we're gonna have to see how the archetype fares in the meta before you spend 1600 discs trying to craft this. I think Katharina Winterwisp is the safe Hunter Legendary pick. Like, if you're wanting a good Hunter Legendary, definitely pick this over than the weapon, because this you can kind of, not any deck, but a Battlecry and Death Rattle recruit a beast. So you could have a lot of really good minions and build your deck around like minions and stuff like that, but only have a few beasts. And then when you play Katharina, assuming that you haven't already drawn the beasts already, you always get value, which is really cool. And I think it's a solid card overall. This is pretty good as well. Summon 2 3/3 wolves, get a secret to upgrade. I think it's you summon 3 and then you summon 4. And obviously summoning 4 3/3 wolves is crazy. Obviously you've got the board clear and stuff like that, but I don't know, I think that one's pretty good. Another awesome craft as well is a Flanking Strike. It's a deal 3 damage to a minion and summon a 3/3 wolf. To put this into perspective, you have the Fire Plume Phoenix, I think. I think it's 3 or 4 mana, but deal 2 damage. And I think this is just a better version of that, to be honest. Apart from that, Crushing Walls is just kind of a joke, I think. A lot of people can play around it, and I think you're going to kind of put a lot of people off because they won't be expecting this card, but it's still like, it's still pretty terrible. For 7 mana, and then it can easily be played around, is crazy. Cool, moving on to Mage. Shifting Scroll. We're going to have to keep an eye out on this one, because I can see this being a crucial card in something like Secret Mage or Quest Mage. Essentially, you just wait until this turns into an ice block or an ice barrier, and you get such insane value, because obviously you can only have 2 of those in your deck, and anyone who's either played against that sort of mage or has played that sort of mage knows how crucial an extra ice block is. It can 99 out of 100 times basically mean you win the game, which is crazy. Raven Familiar is another one that really stood out to me as well. Reveal a spell in each deck. If you ask us more, draw it. It's a 2 mana card, 2 attack, 2 health. So it's fairly, I'd say sort of weak started minion. I'd say that the kind of basis for a 2 mana is +1 either way, so either a 3/2 or a 2/3. But the battle cry, reveal a spell in each deck. Like if you go up against a priest, for example, and you see I think it's like a 6 mana, 5 mana, like summon a 5/5 from your deck, you automatically know what they're playing, and you can kind of play your next turns, you know, sorting that out and kind of get into grips with it. So I think this is going to be a card where you gain more information because you also reveal a spell to them, and they reveal a spell to you. You're going to get more information from them than they're going to get from you, I think. And whilst it's not amazing and it's not groundbreaking, I think definitely a solid card. Explosive Runes as well. Mage have got some pretty good ones this time. After your opponent plays a minion, deal 6 damage to it and any excess to their hero. Now, it's been confirmed that if they play Divine Shield minion, obviously it's not going to do any damage to them all, so it just deals the 6 damage straight to their face, which is really good. But yes, this is the... I don't want to say the best secret that Mage have, because Ice Block is still on this like pedestal, but it's definitely a very, very solid secret. A spell that we missed as well is the Lesser Ruby Spellstone. I think it upgrades all the way to 3 after playing so many elementals, and it's essentially then a Kabbalist Tome for 2 mana, which is insane. And I can really see some sort of like Jaina elemental deck running this, because it seems that broken. It seems really crazy. Another broken card as well, in my opinion, is a Leyline Manipulator. So Battlecry, if you're holding any cards that didn't start in your deck, reduce their cost by 2. Yeah, this works so well with Lesser Ruby Spellstone and you know, the upgraded ones and stuff like that, that it's really crazy. And Shifting Scroll as well, I think, even works with it. It might not. No, I think it does, actually. Yeah. But just, yeah, crazy value. And already a 4 mana for, you know, a 4/5 for 4 mana is already Yeti stats, Chillwind Yeti, which is like one of the best classic cards in the game. So, yeah, really crazy. And I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Leyline Manipulator. Deck of Wonders, not a big fan of. I think that's just too slow and too memey. Dragon's Fury is not an instacraft. I wouldn't really craft this straight away over some of the other mage cards that I've gone through, but it's definitely one that try and keep your eye out for, because this could be essentially key. You could have like you know, Flame Strike in your deck, and you reveal a spell, and then it has 7 damage, 12 minions, which is crazy for 5 mana. So definitely one to keep your eye out for, but I wouldn't say it's an instacraft. The mage weapon, Aluneth, is awesome description, by the way. You need a bit of space. But I don't know. This is a very specific type of deck. It's a very burn mage deck, where essentially the only way that you're gonna lose is if you draw, like if you overdraw yourself. So it's very just kind of like, you've got to play everything straight away as soon as you get it, sort of thing. And that's a very specific sort of like niche archetype. But I reckon in the archetype it would, oops, sorry for hitting the mic. I reckon in the archetype it would be very just outstanding, because unlike the other weapons, this is just, you immediately get value. So you equip this and then at the end of your turn you draw 3 cards. If this doesn't get destroyed, you keep drawing 3 cards, but if it does get destroyed, you're not going to cry about it because you've just drawn 3 cards, which is insane anyway. So it's not 6 mana insane, but it's, you know, you're not crying about it, is what I'm saying. Dragoncaller Alana, I'd wait on this because board clears are gonna be more of a thing, especially with like the crazy priest cards that we'll talk about in a sec. Very good. You'll kind of have to do this more than twice to get immediate. You know, it's 9 mana for a 3/3. That's just crazy. And I thought it was a 3/5, but it's a 3/3. Very, very understated minion. But the battle cry is pretty insane, but not an instacraft. None of these legendaries really are. It really depends on the kind of archetype that you want to run. It's still very good though. Paladin. Paladin is a weird one because I played a lot of Paladin and it's just not been in a good place right now. None of these really stick out to me. Lesser Pearl Spellstone, I guess. Even then it's not, you know, it's not insane. Unidentified Maul, not really insane either. Crystal Lion, it's... that really depends on sort of like how many Silverhand recruits you control. And I don't know, none of these are really like... It really sucks because I love Paladin so much. Call to Arms seems pretty good. Like, you could have like a Doomsayer in there. If you're going for like a super like board control type thing. And recruit 3 from your deck, just pulls them straight from your deck that costs 2 or less, is insane. But obviously then the Doomsayer kills the other 2 that you pull. So I don't know, very sort of tricky. I think we're gonna have to wait a good few months for Paladin to find its place in the meta in this expansion, because it's already super weak and other classes seem to have got a lot better cards this time around. Like Benevolent Djinn, it's restoring health. Like Priest already runs Raza Priest where it has like a 28 damage combo. I don't see health being a big deal in this expansion. So they do have one of the best like crazy weapons though, the legendary weapons, Valonir. So Death Rattle, give a minion in your hand, +4/+2. When it dies, you equip this. So essentially, you're giving the weapon, like, you equip it for 6 mana, you hit stuff with it, or hit face with it. Probably minions, though. And then you essentially give the weapon to a minion, and then you play the minion, and then when it dies, you get that back. You have to do this twice to see real value from it. And I see this being way too slow. Like, in a perfect world, yeah, it's amazing. But with aggro and stuff, you're already looking at, like, being, like, under 10 health around turn 6 or under, so it's gonna be a tricky one. Lenessa Sunsorrow is a card that I am really excited about. I really liked playing the last Kaleidosaur sort of like Paladin deck. It wasn't too popular, but you could actually climb with it, to be honest. It was tricky, but I'm interested to see where this goes. Obviously 7 mana 1/1 is ridiculous, but cast each spell you cast on your minions this game on this one. So that's like Spikeridge Steed, Blessing of Might, and stuff like that. And I can see this being extremely crazy, and the only way to really deal with this, especially if it's got like Divine Shield and stuff, is silence, and that is one of this card's biggest weaknesses, is silence. So very stupid, overpowered ability, but it also has a pretty big downside as well. And if this gets silenced, it's literally a 7 mana 1/1, which is so bad tempo. So moving on to Priest. Priest, in my opinion, has the most broken sort of like, it's crazy. So Psionic Probe. So we have Psionic Probe, which is like a very thought steely card, but copy a spell in your opponent's deck and add it to your hand. It's gonna be more value than just like kind of just like a random minion sort of thing. And I reckon that this card, because it's a common, you're probably going to get this in like some packs and stuff, but if you're looking to build a solid Priest deck, and you've kind of already got one from the last expansion, the Priest cards in this expansion seem to just be like already making Priest better. So not really making any new archetypes, just making like Priest insane, which is crazy, because Priest doesn't need help doing that right now because it's a tier 1 deck and it's insane. Dragon Soul is the Priest weapon. So after you cast 3 spells in a turn, summon a 5/5 dragon. This is not a insta-craft because, again, very specific archetype, a lot of cheap spells, stuff like that. And I don't see this being too great. I mean, yes, it is a 5/5 dragon, so Dragon 5 Potion is not going to affect it, which is still going to be basically in every Priest deck, whether you're running dragons or not. But yes, one of the insta-crafts I'd say if you're planning to play Priest is Twilight Acolyte. Battlecry, if you're holding a dragon, swap this minion's attack with another minion's. Now, in something like Priest, attack value means so much because you have Shadow Word Horror, you have Shadow Word Pain, you have Shadow Word Death, you have Potion of Madness, you have a Cabal Talon Priest, I think. The 6 mana steal a minion that has 2 or less attack. If they play Lich King, you could Twilight Acolyte to put it down to 2 attack, and then Cabal, I think it's Cabal Shadow Priest, I don't know, 5 mana. I'm really bad with card names. Yeah, Cabal Shadow Priest. You can do that, and that's insane. You've then got a Lich King, and you've then generated yourself cards, like Lich King cards, and it just seems really broken. I'm really looking forward to trying out Priest, because I'll get into it in a little in a second, but they just have so much fun tools to play with. Gilded Gargoyle. It's essentially just a worse Tomb Pillager, I think, from the League of Explorers set that Rogue had. I can see this being alright, but again, if you're playing a Priest, it can get, because it's 2 attack, it can get like Potion of Madness, and giving yourself, like playing a 3 mana 2/2, give your opponent a coin is very bad. You do not want to be in that. Twilight's Call, I can see potential. It doesn't strike to me as like an insta-craft sort of thing. Dustbreaker. Now, there's a minion that is absolutely crazy. So I reckon we're going to see a lot of Dragon Priests. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage to all of the minions. This is crazy. It's essentially a board clear and then you're 3/3 for 4 mana. Which is... yeah. Lesser Diamond Spellstone. Yeah, the Dustbreaker definitely an insta-craft, by the way. I think. I'm going to craft it if I don't find it in a pack. Lesser Diamond Spellstone. I think this is not an insta-craft, but it's... if you like playing Big Priest, it's one of the cards that's going to make that even more viable. So I reckon... it's already like a tier 3, tier 2 deck. I reckon maybe with this, like, it's a lot, but you could potentially resurrect Lich King, Ysera, crazy minions. I reckon we're gonna see this played quite a lot in Big Priest. Not every priest, but I reckon if you're gonna be playing Big Priest, you definitely want to craft this. Now, to the to the most insane card over the entire expansion, in my opinion, is a Psychic Scream. Shuffle all minions into your opponent's deck. That's insane. I was playing Druid the other day as Priest, and I just didn't have a way to get rid of the Jade Idols. This is it. This is 100% it, because it just fills their deck with a bunch of garbage, and say you shuffle like an 8 mana 8/8 Jade Idol, they draw that. Wow, they've got an 8 mana 8/8. Scary. I'd rather have that than, you know, a turn going 9/9, 10/10, 11/11, 12/12 sort of thing. This just screams Raza Priest, and that's already like one of the most viable, most broken decks in a Hearthstone right now. The fact that you can deal like 28 damage just straight from hand is insane, and I'm gonna be having so much fun with this card because it just seems this seems like the best card in the set. I'm gonna call it now. It just seems so broken. Then we have Temporis, which is like very memey card, very meme card, and you wouldn't put that in a constructed deck at all. So moving on to Rogue, Kingsbane. Shuffle this into your deck. It keeps any enchantments. This seems really awesome. It's gonna bring, I think, a new archetype of Rogue to the metagame, and anything like that that brings like a new archetype of a deck is really refreshing in my opinion. So yeah, in this expansion, Rogue have secrets now, which I feel like they should have had for a while, but yeah, it's only just come in. Cheat Death. Again, okay, common card, so it is what it is. Like, it's alright, I think, but secrets are so easy to play around, in my opinion, that it kind of like, yeah, whatever. Evasion. After your hero takes damage, become immune this turn. Again, I can see this in some decks, but it's an epic, which means it's going to be pretty expensive to craft, and it's not an insta-craft. Sudden Betrayal. I would craft this over Evasion, to be honest, because, especially for like the beginning, I feel like people aren't really going to know the cards that well, and this is going to slip up, and you're going to get some crazy tempo swings with this. Now you have the Legendary Sonya Shadow Dancer. Again, sort of like, it's good, but not broken, so I wouldn't necessarily craft this straight away. A really broken card is Elven Minstrel. I see this being awesome. Combo, draw 2 minions from your deck. So if you're running a very minion heavy deck, you've already got some, if you're in like a Kaliseth deck, which is already really popular right now, this is really good. Obviously it's very understarted, but the ability is pretty insane. Another instacraft, actually. I think this is going to mean every rogue deck, whether it's weapon or, you know, Kaliseth, or like a spell, like Miracle Rogue sort of thing. I reckon Faldora Strider is going to be a pretty big player in Rogue, because the ability is shuffle 3 ambushes into your deck. When drawn, summon a 4/4 spider is crazy, because that's just essentially a free 4/4 every so turn. And the fact that they're 4/4s mean Priest is going to have a kind of a hard time dealing with it. Cobalt Illusionist, yeah, I guess. And then Lesser Onyx Spellstone. It's good, but 5 mana, destroy 1 random enemy minion, like, nah. You want to be playing, you know, Vile Spine and stuff like that to destroy it, and the fact that it's random, I don't know, I don't think we're going to see too much of this. Moving on to Shaman. Unstable Evolution is a fun, quirky card. I don't think it's an insta-craft, though. I definitely want to be playing around with this, though. again, kind of like a druid, shaman seems to be pretty weak in the new card. Sort of like, you know, what Kobolds and Catacombs would bring into Hearthstone. Because none really stand out to me as like, oh, I need to craft this to make my deck better. It's just pretty much just going to be evolve shaman with, that's pretty much it. We've got a winds here Stormcaller. So if you control all 4 basic totems, summon Alakar the Windlord, which is obviously insane if you can get this to work, but I don't think people are going to get it to work that well. I'd say Shaman is probably the weakest class in terms of new cards, which is a shame, to be honest. But moving on, we got Warlock, and I'm really excited because one of the best cards in the set, in my opinion, is Kobold Librarian. People still play the Engineer, the 2 mana 1/1 draw a card, and this is a 1 mana 2/1 draw a card, and then the downside of deal 2 damage to your hero. But when you're playing Warlock, you don't really care about, you know, hurting yourself because that's literally your ability. So I can see this being played a turn in Zoo and even Control because it's just cycle, and it's, you know, it can get pinged, but a 1 mana 2/1 is better than a 2 mana 1/1 if you wanted to find them cards. Cataclysm seems insane. If there was any incentive to, or any help with doing the Warlock quest, the discard your hand, it's this. And I reckon we're going to see some fantastically insane decks with this. Because you put one of the imps out, that, you know, when you discard, you draw the Malkazar imp, I think. It's going to be insane. Like, I'm going to have so much fun with this card. Lesser Amethyst Spellstone. Deal 3 damage to a minion. So it's lifesteal. I think this upgrades all the way to like 7 or something. I think it's 3, 5, 7. Good. And definitely a thing in like Control Warlock and stuff. But I don't know how Control Warlock is going to fare in the meta, to be honest. Hooked Reaver is pretty good. Most of the time when you play this, you always want to be having 15 or less health. So if you have 15 or less health, gain +3/+3 on taunt. So 4 mana 7/7 with taunt is insane. It's just, however, this is a demon and it can get resurrected by Gul'dan. And if it does, you won't get the +3/+3 on taunt. You'll just get a 4/4/4. So 4 mana 4/4, and it's that's really weak. That's really weak because you want to be resurrecting your big hitters sort of thing. Possessed Lackey definitely has real potential. It seems kind of like a joke card, but you can again make your deck kind of like the Hunter with really big demons and then just kind of like other minions, and then when you play this, it's Death Rattle, it will get a big demon. And speaking of big demons, here's Void Lord. Never let it hold your checkbook. This is crazy. If you can recruit this, that is so much value. It's 9 mana, 3/9, Death Rattle, summon 3, 1/3 demons, essentially Void Walkers with taunt. Absolutely crazy. I think this is definitely a sort of instacraft if you're looking to play Warlock, but it's very expensive. And it's going to be, I think, a very expensive deck to craft, especially if you're a new player. Rin, the First Disciple, I think this is just a bad card. So taunt Death Rattle, 6 mana, add the first seal to your hand. So this is just essentially like destroy the, I think once the first seal, I think it's 5 seals, so you play the first seal, and then you get the second seal shuffled into your deck, and after you play 5, you destroy the opponent. You just win the match. But I can't see this, even with some sort of like mill Warlock, I can't see this being a thing. So I would save your dust on this one, unless you come up with an absolutely crazy deck in which you're a legend, because that'd be insane. Warlock Weapon, Skull of the Minari. It's like, alright, but like 5 mana, I just don't see this being good. I really don't. Like, you can get like a Void Walker and just, I don't know. This is not an Instacraft for me, and it's a real shame because the design looks awesome. I think it's just too slow. So Warrior, Blade of Gauntlet. It's alright. It's alright. It just, I don't see this being played much. What have we got? Kobold Barbarian is bad. It's bad. Reckless Flurry is pretty good. Spend all your armor, deal that much damage to all minions. You could essentially shield block for, obviously get 5 armor. Maybe you've got some left over. And then Reckless Flurry. Will this be replaced, you know, will this be in place of Sleeping with the Fishes? That's still yet to be debatable, because that's a really good card. And it's only 2 mana deal 3. And then you don't lose all your armor. So it just depends how the meta is going to play out. It's an epic, so I'd probably say I wouldn't craft it straight away. Gather your party, recruit a minion. I think that's pretty bad. You could certainly build your deck around it though. Even the Spellstone I don't think is really good in Warrior. Geosculptor, yep. I want to see decks like this come into play. I just don't think it will. So I wouldn't say craft it just yet. I'd probably wait out the meta. Again, with any sort of epic legendary cards, if you craft that day 1, you're taking a pretty big risk, unless you really just like playing that deck anyway, or that class even. But I'd definitely save your dust on this one. It could be very good, and it's definitely ambitious, as the description would say, but I don't know, I'm just not feeling this one. Then we've got Woe Cleaver. After your hero attacks, recruit a minion. It's good. I mean, 8 mana 3/3 is bad, but the ability is good. Just obviously, if they've got weapon removal and with a bunch of legendary weapons running around, that's probably going to be a thing. It's pretty bad. Especially since that's just like, you know, a minion. It could be like a 1 cost, a 3 cost, it could be a 10 cost. You never know. Okay, so moving on to neutrals, and on the first page, the one that stands out to me is Dragon Slayer. I reckon we're going to see a lot of, especially Dragon Priest, come in. And this is essentially a 3 mana 4/3 destroy a minion, which is pretty good. Any that strike out as amazing? Not really. So the Gorgon, it's kind of a fun card, but I wouldn't really be playing it in many decks. Void Ripper is just a crazy, even crazier crazed alchemist. I can kind of see this being in decks, but I wouldn't say it's... And it's a demon as well, I guess, for Warlock synergy. But I wouldn't say craft it straight away. Hardying Dragon is just bad. Shimmering Courser. I think this is a good card. I like the design. And you've got kind of free range of it, like it can't be removed by targeting it. It can remove my you know, AoE and stuff like that, but I'm digging the unicorn. Sneaky Devil. The darkness seems pretty crazy to me. I reckon in theory it's good, but you're just gonna get outplayed, especially when you're just essentially losing your turn 4. This is not something that you want to be coining out, and I think even putting into decks. Arcane Tyrant seems broken. It's essentially just a free card. Kind of like Happy Ghoul, but way better. King Togwaggle. I've not actually seen this card. Swap decks with your... Oh, okay. Okay, this seems pretty crazy. Swap decks with your opponent. But that's 8 mana, like the game's already played out, so no, I can't see this card being played. I would love to see some sort of like meme decks with this card in, but I can't see this card being played. Mario the Fox, obviously we all know and love. Dragon Hatcher, 9 mana, 2/4, like these are crazy mana cost minions with just like horrible stats, and I guess you could get like Deathwing off this, or like Deathwing Dragon Lord. But it's just a dragon, so if you've got a dragon deck, it could just be like a 4 mana one or a 5 mana one, and I just don't think it's gonna see play. Master Oakhart I think will see play. It's a 9 mana 5/5. We've got a 1, 2, and 3 attack minion. Especially if the 3 attack minion is the Void Lord, the crazy epic Warlock card that we looked at. Guess that's just insane value. But other than that, like there's no like crazy cards at the set. I think Priest has it good, and Priest is definitely going to dominate. I don't know, I'd like to see Shaman and maybe not Druid, because Druid has just been dominating ridiculously for so long. It's kind of nice to see them, I think, go down a peg, but even then Jade Druid is still going to be a thing, and that's still going to be ridiculously strong. So maybe not with the new Priest tech that's come in, but who knows? Who knows? Alright guys, that's my thought on the Kobolds and Catacombs expansion. Thanks for watching. This is Jamitek, and see you later.